Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, all over the world. Dobson 777A here. All right, here we go. It's morning. I haven't taken a shower yet or anything, but I'm about ready to can a whole bunch of stuff again. I'm hoping to get about 16 quarts of stew, and it's going to be turkey. Now, they're still selling turkey at my local Kroger for 69 cents a pound, and this is a 16-pound turkey. And it's perfect for what I'm going to do here. But basically, I take the white meat, which would be plenty for this stew. And then I have fresh celery, fresh green beans, carrots, onions. And here's a surprise many of you maybe haven't used before. A rutabaga. I found if I incorporate rutabaga in my stews instead of potatoes, it's a much lower carb option. And it tastes, and the texture, everything is very similar to a potato. And I love it. I've been doing this for a long time, and it's very simple. These things come with a wax coating on here. You just peel it off like you would a potato. Just use a potato peeler, and then you slice it into chunks. I'm going to show you all of this. I take, I've got 2 pots here. Each one of them are 8 quarts. And so what I'm going to do is end up splitting all this between those 2 containers. So I have 2 cans of corn, 1 for each pot, and then 4 cans of tomatoes, and that's going to be split between each pot. And then I'll take like 3 bouillon cubes, chicken bouillon cubes for each pot, and then 1 pouch of Lipton onion soup. Now I did want to tell you that I've been trying to cook gluten-free, and also a fairly low carb is the way I cook as well. But I just noticed today that the stupid recipe, the ingredients for this, let's see if I can get this to come on, actually has soy sauce, which has wheat and salt. So soybeans, wheat, and salt. Now, because of the amount that I'm using in here, I don't think it's going to cause trouble. I've always tried to do gluten-free, but because 1 packet for 8 quarts, that should be fairly diluted and not a trouble. But I'm going to have to find a substitute for my Lipton onion soup that I've been using for years to be as gluten-free as possible. But anyways, the first thing I'm going to do is go ahead and get this turkey prepared. And it's a really simple thing. We just take it out of the bag, take the guts out. They have those in a bag, and there's usually a gravy packet. I take that out as well. And then you can use any kind of seasoning, but I kind of like the butt rub seasoning on the skin. So this is one of the things that I use, but I have all kinds of seasonings and I alternate it. But I use this for wings and everything else. Chicken wings, I love this. And I've got this, I think, at Sam's Club. So if you ought to give it a try. It's pretty spicy. If you shake the wings up in a bag and then cook them, you're going to find it's very spicy. But if you just kind of sprinkle it on there, most people will really tolerate it very well. All right, so the turkey, removed all of the innards out of it and coated it with the butt rub, and then I also just kind of rubbed it in. So we put it on the inside of the turkey as well as the outside. The secret to a good turkey is 325. In this case, I'm doing 3.5 hours, and that's usually really close. There is a pop-up timer thing on here. And so what I'll do is I'll monitor it very closely right at 3.5 hours, and then we'll see how it is. And I'll put a thermometer in there if it hadn't popped by that point. But usually it's anywhere from 3.5 to 4 hours for this size turkey. Okay, it took about 30 minutes to cut up all the vegetables and open the cans and put them in here. There was one item that I forgot to mention, and that was mushrooms. So I stuck those in here as well, a can of mushrooms. But you can see each one of these are doing pretty good. I'm going to stir them up now, give them a good stir, and by the time the turkey's done, all the vegetables will have been fully cooked. Let's take a look at the turkey. So the turkey's been going a little bit over an hour, like an hour and 15 minutes, and you can see that's actually starting to brown up pretty nicely. So the pop-up timer popped right at about 3.5 hours, so I caught that exactly at the right time. You can see it's a beautiful brown turkey. I can't wait to cut into this thing. It looks fantastic. Okay, the turkey came out of the oven just a few minutes ago, and unfortunately we were starving, and I kind of decided to, or I was starving, and I decided to chow down on this bad boy. So I tore off one of the legs, letting it still rest for the rest of the time so that the meat doesn't completely drain of fluids. But I've been eating the crap out of that leg. It's great. I want to show you something else. So I've had so many eggs that I decided to do 18 and 5, I think like 23 eggs here. And everybody always tells me how difficult it is to try to remove the shell off the eggs. Well, I discovered something the other day of somebody else's YouTube video, and I want to share it with you. But basically, you take a small Tupperware container, you put your egg in there, put a little bit of water. Do you see that water right there? Put the lid on, and you shake it, and lo and behold, the shell comes off perfectly. And these are fresh eggs. These are amazingly fresh eggs, and they're coming off no problem. A lot of times they tell you to get older eggs, but I'm finding this works just fine. All right, so I've got the egg in here, and you can see the amount of water. Now when you shake this, you're going to feel the hard egg hitting the side, and then eventually you're going to feel like a soft ball inside, and that's when you know that the egg shell is loosened. So let's do it. It's trying to go round and round instead of back and forth. There it goes. So I don't know if you could hear that sound difference, but it changes. And then you look at this. And somehow it just makes it so easy to peel. It's not stuck at all. Notice that? Sometimes the whole eggshell comes off too, but while you're shaking it. But that's how easy it is, folks. One little eggshell there. Gonna make some egg salad and also some deviled eggs. All right, I just finished adding the turkey to each of these pots. And all the vegetables are fully cooked. They've been cooking for several hours here, and I'm ready to actually start canning. So there's what's left of my turkey. Got a little bit left over here. I always keep the dark meat, and here's the jars I got to fill up. So everything's starting to get ready here. I'm actually going to rearrange everything and start dumping these into the jars. I do have a special funnel that you buy. I have two of them. This is for the small mouth jars, and then this is for the large mouth jars. So you can see this fits on here nicely, just like that. And so I just ladle it in and fill it up, and I only bring it up right to this edge. There's a curve here. I fill it up right to that point with liquid, and try to keep everything underneath the liquid. So that's where I'm heading to next. So I didn't show the whole canning process, but here's the turkey stew afterwards. I ended up with 14 quarts and about 3/4 of another quart that I just ate. So there is, in my YouTube directories, there's a directory that talks about canning, and it'll show you step by step what you need to know. Okay, we're gonna have a little fun with the chickens here. I gotta try to hold the camera and throw peanuts down to them, but I gave them some eggs from earlier where I had peeled like 20 something eggs. So let's see what they do with the peanuts. Oh man, they love their peanuts. Some of them will grab a peanut and run way over there out of the way so it doesn't get taken from them, because some of these are greedy. There, she just ran back over again. She eats over in the corner. Little treats for my chickens. That rooster just kind of watches the hens eat. He doesn't eat as many. Hens love those things. Some happy chickens. Well, there you go. That's the end of the chickens eating their peanuts. I hope everybody's treating you well. I hope you're doing well. Do the best you can. God bless. Go potty. Gonna go bye-bye? Are we gonna go bye-bye? Go bye-bye? Alright. Going to get in the car? We're not quite ready. I'm almost ready. You almost ready? Okay.